recording this computer. Perfect. So this is recorded. It's the session being recorded. I believe so. Let's see. Yeah, it's being recorded. Thanks everybody for joining today. Fun day today. So today the topic we're gonna pick and have a conversation about it. This is one of those topics that it is a very critical competency that a Scrum Master should have. You know, in Scrum world, Agile world, we talk about a lot of big buzzwords. Servant leader. Whoa, you know, that's a big one, right? All of the above, everything is you're a servant leader. Well, guess what? We're just trying to make it to the 8 hours when we start 8 o'clock in the morning. Believe me, servant leader is the last thing I want to think about all day long that I have to perform, that I need to get the job done, make sure the team is progressing toward, you know, our iteration goals and PI objectives. But anyways, a lot of these big buzzwords and all that, but not to kind of a sidetrack on that. Yeah, those matter a lot. It's a mindset at the end of the day. The servant leadership, when that, you know, the buzzwords start to come out, objective behind, I mean, who we serving, let's be honest. Who's a leader? At the end of the day, it's a teamwork. As a Scrum Master, our responsibility is lead the team based on what the value and vision is. So we lead the team towards success. We coach the team towards success. We facilitate any of the events that is part of Agile Scrum as a ceremony or events in the say what we call successfully, effectively, so we can have a greater output toward the vision and goal. Same thing goes with a collaboration. So these are the key trait I call a Scrum Master should master over time. It's not going to happen overnight. I always use an example. We are new Scrum Master. We, you know, get into the job market. What we do? We follow cadence right there. What we learn in a book, right? We go to the daily Scrum. What did you do yesterday? What you working on today? And any impediments? Those three questions. And guess what, man? Those are vanilla questions. They lose purpose after a certain time. Same thing with the, you know, our retros. So how do we define ourselves as toward the success path as a successful and effective Scrum Master? So we master certain, you know, trait and certain competency to the point that we truly build self-organizing teams. We build the team or one team or the teams toward, I would say that, you know, high-performing path. And we put this mindset and discipline in a team, not as a father figure, not as a, you know, project manager in a control and command mode. We put that discipline in a team that they have opportunities to make mistakes. We provide the psychological safety and the safety net to them. So all these, you know, competencies we learn over time. They don't come, you know, just getting a certification. Very frankly, it takes time. We need to mature ourselves in what field we're in. So based on that, let's look at some of the competencies. So it's going to be a back-to-back 3 session, by the way. The first session today is going to be about one of the key competency, which is very important for Scrum Masters to develop and get really, I use guru on it, which is facilitation. Because facilitation is one of the key trigger, all the events that drive the Scrum. Scrum is a framework. What drives a Scrum and iteration development is a facilitation. Coaching comes after that. And then comes in collaboration, even though they all go hand in hand, but we look at a sequence, they're all very important, very critical skills, but they can flow in that sequence. Servant leader, that's a, you know, mindset. I'm a servant leader. Okay, hallelujah. Okay, but the key competencies always has to be there. Facilitation is going to be a today's session. I'll do my best. Tomorrow, I would know my schedule because I have a full-time job as well, right? So I will know tomorrow what my schedule look like for next week. Do I have any engagement? Because I do support one of the program through my current assignment in China, in Shanghai. We call Shanghai unit. If there's nothing happening for Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm not up to late night, so I promise that I'll put the second session for Thursday next week. That's going to be on coaching skills. Okay, and that coaching, Scrum Master as a coach, strictly relate to a one team structure. It doesn't mean that we become Agile coach and we're going to go out there and you know, put this up anyways. But yes, so that's a coaching second session. And a third session will be following week. That will be collaboration and some of the tricks we can learn in a beginning to be a successful Scrum Master. So let's open up this kind of set the stage for all these key areas. Let's look at the facilitation, what exactly that means. I mean, we know the word facilitate. It derives from there. So let me go ahead, open up. I think my deck is open. Let's confirm that. Yep, I am sharing deck. All right, that's me, guys. So Yanni, Shahid K. Yanni. Quick intro. I've been in the IT world since 1999. All right, I started as a developer, went up to the SQL development, C#. At that time, there was no C#. It was ASP. Then I went from VB to ASP. Then I was a SQL Server DBA, Oracle DBA, and a Sybase DBA. 2005 came into project management. 2008 realized that there's a big things happening. We all want to follow IT and some trending. Then I came to the Agile world in 2008, 2009. Since then, multiple hats: Scrum Master, Agile Project Manager, Agile Program Manager, Release Train Engineer. In the last few years, I've been a coach, Agile Program Manager. I've set up, we call Center of Excellence in the Safe World. And I've set up Agile Project Management Office. I go by the need of the environment. I'm very much kind of open-minded when it goes to Agile and Agile practices. I believe that, one size shoe fit all doesn't work for organization after organization. We have to really look at that, what they call, troubles, problem summaries are, what the issues are, what problem they're trying to solve, in what sequence, who are the champions. So the lot goes into when it goes transformation. So I'm pretty much, yes, I'm a safe guy, but I still look at the needs of the environment, that what can really, as a smallest, simplistic, or minimalist approach, and then you run with that, build upon your structure. So that's been my background for the last few years. Somebody has a comment quickly. Let's see if there's any suggestion. Please would you send the record to us. KJ, what I plan to do is that I'll put this probably on a YouTube channel. It's not my YouTube channel in a way that I'm looking for, hits and all that. So I'll put it there, and I'll give everybody a link, and I'll send everybody a link on this one. Yes, I'll put it to YouTube. All right, so let's move along. So that's my short intro. So let's look at what we're trying to achieve today. Facilitation, right? In a simple summary, how we describe facilitation, just like any other process. Okay, you're welcome. All right, so it's a process, right? What we do is that, if I use a layman term, I grew up in Brooklyn, so let's use that way, not just read what the text is there in a simplest term, right? It's a process. What we do is that we use the knowledge of the participants as a neutral party. That's a first thing. As a facilitator, using facilitation process, we play as a neutral role. No prejudgment. I always say that. Anytime you're doing any session, take that step out. Somebody's wearing a jeans, somebody's wearing a shorts, no prejudgment. Come in with the open mind, and we use that power and all these dialogues and conversation that's going to be during that session or facilitation session. Use that with some objective, drive toward objective you want to achieve. That is, in a nutshell, is a facilitation. As a facilitator, for us now, how we achieve those objectives, really master those processes. First thing first comes in is that we need to have agenda. There's some rules as well. I call them ground rules. You look at the rules, and then within that, how you want people to participate in that conversation based on agenda. How you keep people on track. When you go to face-to-face facilitation, one of your biggest skills beside agenda and controlling the meeting and making sure everybody participates, keeping people on track. No judgments, no assumptions, no prejudgment. I always say that. And how you drive that conversation, one person at a time, how you drive toward all of the objective you want to achieve. You drive those conversations in that manner, let people pick those options and pick what a one and come out as a winner. At the end of facilitation, the duration you have set, what is objective? You're looking to have an outcome. A facilitation session without an outcome is a waste of time for you and for the participants. What would happen is that you go into a facilitation session, You bring in responsible parties. At the end of the meeting, if there's no takeaway, it could be an action item or the true outcome everybody agreed upon. If nobody, there was still no agreement, you should have a takeaway as an action item, meet after, when, based on this session and what we're trying to achieve from the follow-up session. So that is a simple techniques to flow into. We'll look a little more detail into it. So let's look a little by the book now. What exactly is facilitation as a process? What it really means is a process of harnessing knowledge of the participants while managing participants' behavior. When we talk about the behavior, one of the success criteria as a Scrum Master or facilitator, I always say that, okay, when I do facilitation sessions, right, I try not to sit in the middle. There's a table. Consider this a table, okay? I try not to sit in the middle. I try to sit in a corner from where you can observe everybody's body behavior, physical behavior. You need to read them. You need to read people, that how you're going to direct them and how you're going to have your speech elevation to have those what question, no why, what questions. How are you going to delegate to another user? How are you going to try to, because you sit in the middle, then you have to lean, turn all the time. You see, use as yourself as a Scrum Master, how you need to really drive that meeting. These are the skills we learn. Do you need to sit down? Yes and no. You sit down, people would have a little bit more closeness to you, feel more comfortable. You stand down, then they'll be too attentive to you. See how the body language and a format is flowing? All these things matter within a facilitation session. It's not a one thing, it's a full combination. All these things. Learn to read people. You don't need to become, psychic, and then open up a shop for $10, okay, show me your hand, $10, not those psychic. Learn to have enough readouts on a people's facial expression, body language. When they're responding to something, how they're sitting. Are they really leaning on a table? Are they just have a high-pitched voice? Are they just leaning backward? Those are all indication of what exactly going through their mind. Some people just sit down, okay, and respond to you. What are those? They're thinkers. They're thinking and they want a response from somebody else same way. They might need more attention. Some people are pretty open and they will respond to a delegated, kind of a conversation. When they ask to respond to it, they'll be very open. Yeah, that enthusiasm. Those are people very easy to get along with. You can really delegate or direct their conversation, understand their meanings. Some people lean backward. See how this body language flows? So in a facilitation session, even nowadays, having these conversations, right, or, Zoom sessions and the Microsoft Teams and all these things, first thing first you always want to do is that if the participant you don't know and they're part of the facilitation session, right, quickly do the, quick, readout. See who they are. No prejudgment. I said that earlier. Prejudgment is very bad. That will cloud your conversation. Have an open mind as a facilitator and open to everybody's what their point of view is. Based on a topic and based on an issue, that's part of facilitation session. I know it's a lot of what I said there, but that's how, when talking participant behavior, that's what the conversation is driving into that matter. All right, so while managing participant behavior to accomplish a set of predefined objectives, we go into the meeting, we know that, okay, this is the topic or this is the issue we're trying to resolve, okay? But we know that outcome should be based on something that we already know. We have to already define it. We cannot just take a topic to the meeting and then open up, hey, we want to talk about this. This is not a problem solving workshop. This is a little bit different format and different expectation and outcome. A facilitation, for example, we go to daily Scrum. What are we trying to achieve there? If somebody tells me status call, you're wrong. It's not. You can call it a status call, but we're talking about the agile mindset. It's not a status call. It's we're trying to see that are we progressing toward our committed objectives. See how mindset changes? So in a daily Scrum call, we ask 3 questions, and that drives the conversation what we're trying to achieve, that people should tell, are they on track or not? Have they achieved what they're committed to? Do they see any impediments? But we expecting those answers. That's what those 3 questions are about. what did you do yesterday and what you're doing today, or what you're working on today, and is there any impediments out there that can hamper the progress? Same thing with other events, but beside those key, agile events or ceremonies, there's quite a bit of facilitation you're gonna go through. I had a big core meeting today, even though that's my meeting. Executives there, steering committees there, but that's my meeting. I initiated this. All participants, even from the executive committee, I need to drive the session. I had agenda. I'll give you today's example. I had agenda. There were 7 topics. Okay, that started from portfolio level, where we are, what are our finances, what occurred, what's the future, and I also do EVM, earned value management, even though it's agile. But when you interact with the C-level people, they just don't want your status. They want to see tangible on a paper, one of those slides. I call them hippos. Hippos love fancy schmancy slides. So I had those slides, 9 slides, okay, 9 to 10 slides. So I drove the conversation, opened it up, and what I was expecting from them, their response is, yay, that yes, this program can continue. They're satisfied with the progress. That's the outcome I was looking for. At the end of every slide, and a question, and I asked everybody, are we on track? What are your thoughts or any concerns you see there? Strictly a status. I had a simple roadmap. Underneath that, I had the milestones, what's been achieved, what's coming up in the next 3 months, and what is a next 6 and 11 months or 12 months roadmap. Are they satisfied with what they see? Because there's an investment involved in there. Oh, quite a few $1 million investment on that. And everybody provided their feedback on it. That's what I was looking for. I had somebody on my team who was taking notes as a part of the meeting minutes, and also communicate afterward that, okay, everybody agreed, or is any action item or takeaway. My second slide was exactly the financial. I talk about the full EVM cycle, plan, actual, estimate to complete, and any of those variances. Point I'm making is that this is a typical format of facilitation. As a Scrum Master, depending on an environment you're in, you might not just be running those, come in, look at a team, help them remove the impediments and all the good stuff, right? That is not going to be the case all the time. You're also going to be responsible. For example, you're going to be providing status reports. Some companies take the simple status report, burn up chart. Here we go, where we are, that's it. Some companies have a different expectation on this one. They want to see good few slides. They want to see team progress. They want to see capacity allocation. They want to see maybe finances with that. They want to see that if the budget is really tied with your, as a Scrum Master, they want to see what's your progress, your financials against achieved goals, with tangible evidence that if the money's been spent every iteration, are you meeting your committed goals? So you are going to be presenting those statuses. On top of it, next thing, you're going to be facilitating all these impediment sessions. You're going to be bringing in some other responsible parties. Your team is having those issues or the showstoppers. So being a Scrum Master is not only the 5 events or ceremonies we are concerned about, just learn it. Okay, we go day in, day out, and then hallelujah, do the retro, and then start the new iteration, our sprints. Facilitation truly comes into play beside just 5 those events. All right, facilitation is concerned both with events contents and execution. Contents matter a lot, because if you do not have a true content as part of your facilitation session, so what you're driving participants toward, they need to have a reference point. And before you even have a facilitation session, you need to communicate, you need to socialize ahead of time. Hey, everybody, this is the agenda. This is the outcome we're looking for. Let people think about ahead of time, so when they come to a facilitation session, they're well prepared. Execution is, if I look at this comment right, it says facilitation is concerned both with event content and execution. So we understood the content, what exactly the agenda is, why people should join. If it's not a true agenda, people say, yeah, come on, I don't have time for that stuff. Why would I come to your meeting? You don't even know what you want from me. So content matters a lot. Execution is alluding to that once you have a content, now how are you going to engage every single participant based on your content in a conversation, and then you drive that conversation toward the outcome you're seeking. Facilitation techniques accelerate of capture planning, analysis, design, all the good stuff. So what exactly next topic looking at? Facilitation techniques are used for information collecting, decision making, communication, and meeting management. Some techniques may be used for more than one purpose. Now, the ground rules I alluded to earlier is that when you are, facilitating a session, welcome all ideas, but they have to be based on your content. Listen actively. In a facilitation session, I said in the beginning, right? You need to play this role as a neutral person who's driving conversation, making sure everybody engaged. There's a conversation about this and everybody active participant, and drive them toward expected results, what you're looking for. But as a facilitator, you cannot be talking too much. Your opinion means a lot. Not really. You are facilitating. It's the people who need to look at the problem statement, why they're here for, and what the outcome should be. Based on, again, you already have those optional choices. Listen actively. In a facilitation sessions, I seen sometime is that your project manager or program managers or RTEs, any managers, put it this way, go to the meeting, okay, they do start talking a lot, okay, and then they start talking off the subject. And that drives the conversation in a very different direction. Different topic open up. People start talking about the cows, not cow, but cats and dogs and kids and all this stuff. In the beginning, it's okay to break the ice. It doesn't hurt. It's a very good mechanics to just in the beginning start asking, hey, how's your family doing? If you know somebody, you don't want to ask somebody you don't know it is up in a meeting, right? Hey, how's your family doing? That's the last thing you want to do. So break the ice in a very, kind of, I always say that, in an effective manner. There are ways to break the ice, ask questions, or have a dialogue about something. How's the weather out there? Anything that you can engage people to just open up and say hello, and then have a first 2 to 5 minutes, it doesn't hurt. But after that, you set the stage then. Hey, next 15-minute segment, these are the expectations. Time out each segment of your conversation. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, it does not hurt. But as a facilitator, it's your responsibility. If you say that first 20 minutes a block, we want to have a conversation on this topic or this issue. And then you need to make sure that everybody participates. So you need to be in a command and control manner. Even though in Agile world, we really do not believe command and control, we believe in leading, right? And a coaching. But I always say that facilitation is a one exception that as a Scrum Master, you do need to have the command and control, because if you don't, your meeting is going to be derailed. It's going to go into a different direction. If it's 20 minutes a block, everybody's input supposed to be there. You need to know that if there are 10 participants, everybody should have at least a minute and a half opportunity of time to have their input to it. So you do need to come in. Don't keep looking at watch, okay? Just do the mind clock, all right? Let's be honest, okay? Mind clock. Have a good judgment that you should know that, okay, the person had talked about this, maybe it's gone 1 minute, okay? And then start looking at the person and say, and after a few seconds, say, point well taken, sir. Great idea, great thought, Let's move on to Mr. Billy Bob now. Thank you, sir. Mr. Billy Bob, what is your input? What are your thoughts? What is your, idea about this issue or the item that you're looking at? So drive it, not forcefully, but in a very soft manner. Keep on redirecting it. Seriously, just keep on redirecting it from one person, but everybody should participate in that facilitation. They should have something to say about this. People who come in and they stay quiet in a facilitation meeting, encourage them to talk. Ask them, what are your thoughts? Try to give them importance. People who are quiet, they want to be heard. You need to bring them to the point that, hey, Stevie, what do you think about that? Look, we cannot come to a decision until we truly hear your great input and your experience, your based on experience. What are your thoughts? Try to encourage in that manner so a person does speak. Because otherwise, it's not that if there are 10 people in a meeting, all right, 9 are pretty vocal and have their opinion, and 1 is just not responding. It has to be reason why. That means the person does have something to say. That's a reality. Otherwise, it would not be there. Why would he accept the meeting? So that means the person might be a little bit shy, might be, I don't know, maybe just feeling intimidated. Could be anything. Engage the person. Let them speak. All right, so ground rule number next one. Respect what others say. Definitely. I'll use the word prejudgment. Don't. Throw out the window. Listen in. As a facilitator, this is your biggest skill. During that type of session, listen carefully. Don't put your opinion to it. Just listen in, because they will decide. You're just driving it. If you want to talk about this issue and just want to be too vocal in a meeting, then why you need people? You need people to have a common consensus, common agreement, and the decision. So you need them. So listen, respect other people's opinion as long as it's related to the topic you presented. Allow everyone to participate. Allow one person to speak at a time. While we're talking, you can interject. Steve, can you just hold back for a minute? Mr. Billy Bob, continue, please. It's not disrespectful. It's not that you try to, interject or, cut somebody off. You have to have the ground and discipline in yourself so you can control the time and a meeting and that event. Discuss issues, not individuals. That is the key rule in facilitation. We're not here to talk about people and the people problem. That's a problem solving and conflict resolution. That's a whole different type of facilitation session. We're talking general, but even when you go to facilitation, that has a matter, that topic or the problem to solve related to your working, what you're trying to do, no individual. Some of the best way to look at a format, right? So we talk about in a slide, okay, what exactly facilitation is, techniques, reading people. You have to truly, believe it or not, guys, once you get to the point that, I always use the term shu ha ri. As a Scrum Master, we use that for agile coaches, right? For our own kind of a growth and as a maturity, it applies to everybody, even in a normal world. Shu ha ri. Shu is that you learn the process, really good. Ha means you start bending a process because you are good at that now. You try to explore and experiment. If you do something, what happens? Re is a stage that we are so mature in our process where we learn, we're so good, now we can become a process. We can create our own process based on what we have. These are the three stages of our self being maturity. And this is facilitation is one of those things. It does come in time as our really a hardcore, effective kind of a competency. Practice, that's all it is, guy. You keep on practicing over and over and over and really truly engage yourself into it. Don't be shy. If you're a new Scrum Master or you getting ramped up, don't be shy in these things. People are not going to bite you. What's the worst they can do? Shut up, sit down. That's all they can say. They're not going to throw shoe at you. There's nothing they can do. So it's a learning curve. It's okay. I've been through failures. You think that, in 2005, when I was a project manager, I'll tell you guys a funny story. 2005, when I first became project manager, it was in North Carolina, Duke Energy, Charlotte area. And I had a team of, I worked on SOX and Glibba project that was auditing. Wachovia Bank, nowadays Wells Fargo. And my very first week, right? And I was a developer DBA, and now I'm a PMI guy, right? Project manager. First project, 21 people under me, right? And at 12 o'clock, I see people are just whispering, and then looking at, it was a glass office I was in, and my whole team was in front of me in the cubes, right? And they were speaking language. They did not think I knew that. I understood the language. I spoke the language. But they were talking at lunchtime, sticking their heads in a cube, right? And they're good friends now, right? But, oh, Yanni, this, blah, 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 I kept listening. I didn't say anything. They used to come to the meetings with me on a weekly. There was a PMI methodology, right? All the meetings, and they will talk in their language and then, say this guy, this and that, but always listen in. That's okay. What's the worst could be? It was my learning curve. Anytime we are new, I'll be learning. Believe it or not, there'll be a lot of negativity you might encounter. Never get discouraged. You have to learn and run forward. Somebody call all these names, all these things. That should be encouragement for us as agilists that, okay, we need to learn, we need to be good at that and then work through it. No revenge either. Anyway, so let's get back now. So good formats. These are about 12 to 13 steps are successfully executing a good facilitation session. Always start the meeting on time. That's the first thing. When we say start meeting on time, you should be the first one to walk into the room. Or nowadays, the Zoom session, you'll be the first one to come in. Open up the meeting, welcome everybody. Respect. That's the first thing everybody wants, is that you treat them with respect, either at your level, if they're not a Scrum Master, or you're above. Everybody should be treated equally. So you come in first. Thanks for coming in. Come on in, please. And start engaging with them. Somebody might come in a few minutes early. You should open up a few minutes early. Start having a conversation. When other people are coming in, stop. Thank you, sir, for coming in. Have a seat, please. And they will become part of your conversation. By the time you say 8 o'clock meeting, 99% people should be there, and they already haven't said hello. And so that's how you break the ice. But start the meeting on time. Welcome, everyone. I think there's a comment, if I'm not wrong. Let's see. Oh, perfect. So welcome, everyone. That's the best way. I just said that earlier, right? Make introductions. So if you come in early and Steve came in, have you noticed today that when the first gentleman, I know who that is. Hang on a second, guys. It was Matt. Am I right, Matt?
Yeah, you're right.
You see? When I came in, you were at login at that time as well. Did I do the same thing? Was you looking at a meeting today?
Yeah, 100%. You're right.
That's a third one, right? I welcome you, right? Didn't I? I welcome you, and I said, "Hey, I'm Yanni. Thanks for joining," and all the good stuff, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I saw you doing that.
And I swear, I'm not even trying to exercise the facilitation. If any of the participants who are good friends in this meeting as well, this is not truly a facilitation. This is not a meetup session. It's a friendly session and conversation. That's all it is. But still, and even after Matt, whoever came in, I still welcome everybody and say hello to everybody. Till at the end, when I did the full count, I say hello to everybody. That is a normal professional thing to do, guys. You want people to like you. You don't have to play with them and be joke, have all these humors like, I don't know. Yeah, just have a little open mind, a little bit of, kind of welcoming people, engage with people. That is, believe it or not, that will take you far. As long as limits. It's a fine line with that. All right. Review the agenda, objectives, and ground rules for the meeting. That's what I was talking about, agenda. Agenda should always be socialized. First thing is that when you set up a meeting, your agenda needs to go out with the meeting. And then it does not hurt that if your meeting is a week away or 3 days away, if you want to engage with some of the participants you think who are the key driver in that topic or in a decision making, it does not hurt to socialize with them either. When I say socialize, doesn't mean go to the happy hour. Verbally in a meeting or in a hallway or with a phone chat, just kind of open up a topic. Hey, what do you think? Are you comfortable with the meeting coming up? Is there anything that I need to add? Just let them talk ahead of time. You understand the mindset, where they are, what they're thinking. Encourage participation. That means make sure that when you send the invite, if somebody says no to it, find out, okay, is that because of time conflict? Or if you set the meeting up at least good feet ahead of time, you will know it's a time conflict. And then see what their position is. Try to take this offline with them. Say, look, these are the topics we're going to discuss about. You can't come in. I understand that. First, I would love to have you in a meeting because you are the key driver. If they still say, come on, man, I can't do that. It's okay, no problem. Can we have a conversation ahead of time? Before that, try to understand their position and their point of view and their position as well. If they cannot join, you can't force them. They might have overlapping meetings or some conflict. Could be anything. If the kid's a doctor appointment, you never know. So having that conversation, because you need their opinion, try to find out, just see the way they are, where the head is. Maybe one-on-one conversation with them, you will know ahead of time where they are. Even during facilitation session, you did not get the consensus on a resolution, at least you can take another meeting as an action item, another follow-up meeting, and then you know that this person who did not join, you also know their position as well ahead of time. Stick to agenda. Stay with agenda always. That is one of the things that you want to be careful with that. Keep on encouraging people to come in. The topics you have, where you want to have, facilitating, stay with an agenda. Don't distract yourself. First thing, as a facilitator, a Scrum Master, don't distract yourself. Don't open up and start going left and right. Key topic, make it clear and crisp so you can have a better outcome. Avoid detailed decision making. Decision making comes at the last, right around time that your meeting's about to end. That's where you're trying to seek the decision making. But you want a decision making, you drive that to a decision, but you only know the two possible outcomes. You're trying to bring people into a line into the one decision. So your decision points should be there. What the outcome we're looking at from this meeting with the agenda, what the outcome we're looking at should be 2 or 3 options, but those are already been kind of mitigated with some responsible parties and some other environmental know-how. It could be a technical issue we're trying to resolve, but we want some solution, kind of a decision making from the management. So make sure that you already have that, what you want, but drive the conversation in that manner. Seek commitments. That's what I'm saying that. If you have a technical issue trying to resolve, you know the solution problem you have already discussed with the senior developers and architects and solution architects, but now the management need to sign off on it. But always look for possible not just a one solution answer or commitment you're looking for. Have a possible one to at least 2 to 3, which one can suit the need, and let them agree to it. Because that might have some other, managers say, well, it will impact me as well, so I'm not going to agree to it. Okay, it could be a monetary consequences, and they say, whoa. These out of just one solution can cost $1.2 million. I'm just getting an example. I don't have a funding. I can't even go to the IRB, right, and ask them to give me the money. So have some options. Maybe another solution that's a $300,000. He might have a little piggy bank or the rent, season money somewhere that he could, oh yeah, you know what, I can take this money and allocate this one to fulfill environment need or your project needs. But that will also benefit me and my group as well. Bring closure to each item, always. Respect everyone's rights. Be flexible. Summarize the meeting results and needed follow-ups. You have to close a meeting in this manner. Thanks to participants. You can't just get the decision and then it said, just start looking at everybody. No, just thank you, everybody. That was very, I'm truly appreciate that. Just say kind words and good words that people will feel like that they have contributed to the good decision. Close the meeting. But again, if you're able to get a consensus and get a decision and a good outcome at that time, brilliant, close it that way. If there's a takeaway from there, there should be a meeting after, or follow-up meeting because we could not come to consensus. That should also be discussed. And at that time, before you even let everybody go, ask them, what is the right time? 3 days later, 5 days later, can we agree to the time now so I can put a placeholder on everybody's calendar? Because once they leave, everybody's going to go to their own corners and different thoughts. But if you bind them to the next commitment, to the meets, and then again have a additional dialogue to come to common consensus, that's the right way to do that. Otherwise, believe it or not, people who were in a meeting and they could not come to consensus, some of them, you'll be chasing them to come to the next meeting then. So get a commitment before the close of meeting. All right, so that was, as an overall, we talk about the facilitation, what that is, and some of the ground rules, and the format to be successful facilitation meeting and outcome. Now look at the Agile context, right? And I'll talk briefly on that because I do want to open a floor because we have quite a few participants. They're pretty senior and good. I want to hear your experience as well and as a conversation. So facilitator in Agile world is a person who guides group of people through a process that helps them come to a common solution. In a context of Scrum iteration events, a servant leader knows that her own growth comes from facilitating the growth of others who deliver the results. So Scrum Master literally first in safe world, we call iteration events. In Agile Open Scrum world, we call ceremonies. The same. There are 5 key events in an Agile world. Daily stand-up, we call DSU, sprint planning, review, retro, and refinement in different order, but 5 key events. I'll give you guys tricks not to eat one. Daily stand-up, how do you facilitate it? some of you guys already know what I'm going to say. So daily stand-up. Once you're part of the new team or as a new Scrum Master of the team, right? Follow the cadence. What did you do yesterday? What you worked today? Any impediments. After a certain time, walk away from those questions. Your team knows what you're going to ask them every morning. Walk away from there. Mature yourself and also let the team answer that. Walk in, open up your laptop, sit in a corner. Key driver here is that make sure that you have either any of your Agile management tool open when they respond so you can quickly review that, okay, yes. What they're saying is that what they did yesterday, make sure that, oh yeah, okay, I remember this one. Awesome. So either open that or open a Kanban. You want to make sure that what somebody's telling you that you can look at that, say this one, because do not try to take the notes as a Scrum Master and daily stand-up. Don't stand in a corner. Don't. Those are bad habits. Daily stand-up, you don't need to stand up. I'm telling you. It's a stand-up with a purpose. Purpose is the team to get together and look at that. Are we on track to meet our goals? So if the team sit down, sky's not falling. Break those habits of you have to stand up on a daily stand-up. Otherwise, we are not agilists. Come on. It's not. So 3 questions after few iteration, walk into the room, open up a laptop. If you got 10 people of your daily stand-up, all right, guys, we're going to flip the script today. We all know what those 3 questions are. I'm not going to ask them again. All right, let's do this one. Throw the ball at somebody. Hey, Billy Bob, you want to open up? Because they already memorized those questions. They know what those 3 questions are. Why are you asking them? See if their team has matured. Give them that opportunity. Believe it or not, you throw a ball at, some Billy Bob, all right? He's going to start talking like a typewriter. Come on, I'm good. I'm on track. What I committed, I should be done by noon today. I don't have any impediments. I'm perfectly good. And I say, okay, Billy Bob, can you throw the ball at Teresa, right? Come on, Teresa, your turn. How's your morning? Make that pleasant. Events, make that pleasant. Don't come as a dry. What you did yesterday, what you were today, and impediments. Come on. We're not kids. We're not in a middle school. We're old enough that we can understand that, there's the mindset and what the expectation is. So build a team that way. So that is a one facilitation event you need to mature yourself and a team into. Sprint planning. So let's look at the bottom one, refinement, first of all. Refinement is one of those sessions that you truly need to guide the team and coach the team so they can work with product owner. You have to facilitate in a way that there's a good outcome, that product owner is really getting what he needs, and team also understanding what's coming in a pipeline, either the refining a deep backlog or upcoming backlog, or current backlog for next 2 iterations. Coach them in a way, guide them in a way there's a better outcome. Don't go out there and team is helping product owner just write the user stories. That is not the objective. Backlog refinement, its objective is to refine at least 2 upcoming sprints user stories. Team understand that, okay, the technical issues, work with the product owner. Who else could be any subject matter? SME need to be a part of the refinement. Facilitate that it's fruitful and it's effective. Then comes in planning session. Make sure that you guide and coach product owner that, hey, you have enough to fully bake your user story. The one you already prioritize could be based on we always talk about the persona, journey maps, features, iteration, flow process. He brings in fully baked, prepare user stories. That should be the first condition, but you have to work with product owner. Make sure he has that. Your team knows, your team has already worked with the product owner during the refinement session. When you come into the planning session, your team knows what are those prioritized user stories. They have already had a conversation, dialogue about that in refinement. See how you mature or facilitate those sessions and really coach the team in that manner. Then you come into the planning. So if based on capacity, your team can go pretty fast and smooth way, have a conversation on each user story. I always said that size it, estimate it. You can keep them on track, facilitate that. Have a conversation. This is the second time you're having a conversation. in a planning session for refinement or planning. So estimate, size it again if you want to, you have to, and then you estimate it in a very effective manner. Don't get hung on one user story. If your planning session is planned for 3 hours and you take a one story and you're beating it a dead horse for a half hour, what's going to happen to the rest of the stories? You have only 3 hours. Facilitation not only is a people and the event and agenda, it's also the time box event. You have to facilitate that time box, you have to stay within it. Review. Sprint review is literally when the team comes to the end of the iteration of sprints. So review is a process that where we're going to look at that, how did we meet, based on our commitment and iteration goals. What is the output now? What are we looking at? Did we meet all our goals? And the part 2 of review is our system demo. Effective guide the team. You are here as a Scrum Master. Open up the review meeting. Should not talk about more than 5 to 7 minutes. You as an opening. You bring out the no more than a couple of slides. Your agenda should be very limited, but point. Okay, what you're trying to achieve in there based on iteration goals. These were commitments. We met these. Some we did not meet because of this, and this is a mitigation strategy. We put the wrap around, either put a backlog or, I mean, it's gonna go backlog anyway. Be honest, be open about that. And after 5 to 7 minutes, as a Scrum Master, you're not here to shine. You pass the baton to one of your team member and let them show physically what exactly a commitment was as a system demo. Leave at least 8 to 10 minutes at the tail end. Demo finish, open the floor. All the participants or your stakeholders, everybody, thank you very much for joining. I'm looking for the feedback from everybody. Please, based on our goals and commitments, we just reviewed the system demo. What are your thoughts? What can you provide as a comment or as a criticism or whatever you have? Please, we want to hear that. Encourage them to give you feedback. And then at the end, say thank you to everybody, and then hallelujah. Retrospective, that's another dry event. People get lost in retrospective. Retrospective is not there to ask what went well, what did not go well, and what the opportunities for process improvement. That is a dry questions, excuse me, just like a daily stand-up. After federation, now your team is really performing well. Do you really have to ask those 3 questions? Let's be honest. Team will say, well, come on. You as Scrum Master, you were with us for a whole 2 weeks. You know what did not go well. And you know what went well. Why are you asking the question? I mean, I used to, when I first became a Scrum Master, before that, when I was in the PMI world, I worked in some teams to learn the processes, learn those things. And I used to ask the Scrum Master, hey, look, what are you asking me the dumb questions, man? We did all these iterations. You know the challenges. I work almost 55 hours. Why are you asking me what did not go well? You know that. You were talking every day at lunchtime. So again, find a balance. If it's a new team or you are a new Scrum Master in a team, follow the cadence. Build this mindset, you as your team or you as a new Scrum Master. What did not go well? Have a simple, those 3 questions. After a few retros, walk away from those questions. Your facilitator now, you're at the point now that your team knows you very well. They have developed enough, formed enough, invite people, okay? And do inform that, hey, we will have our common questions, but we do want to talk about these 2 topics. Make the retro as a team building event. Make this effective. Let people have a desire to come into a retro meeting because after working 2 weeks in a row, after a sprint review and a retro, the last thing they want to hear is that talk about that what did not go well. Nobody wants to hear that, very frankly. Send the agenda after a few iteration retros. Say, look, we know exactly what's going on. We'll talk about that, but I think we'll talk about these 2 topics that can make our life easier. Everybody comes in, you stand up. You let everybody come in, say hello. Come on, guys. Come on, get in, and bring the product owner, any the stakeholder you want, but you should not. It should be team and a product owner. They come in. First thing you want to do, if your team truly screwed up, then you don't want to say, hey, kudos to you guys, right? If they committed to something and they barely achieve 50% of their goals, right? Then you want to have a balance in your kind of an opening statement. But as long as they have gone above 75 to 80% of achievement, you want to come in, everybody sit down, the huffy puffy, oh man, finally this sprint ended. All right. What you want to do is that you stand up as a scrum master. Say thank you to everybody. Kudos to everybody. Everybody put in 110%. We achieved 84% and a 15%. Because of this, we could not achieve all these impediments and all these extended requirements because they had a lot of unknowns. They are in a backlog. Thank you, Mr. Product Owner, Mr. Billy Bob, for your understanding and that we put in backlog. Team, you did well. We could not have achieved 85% without your commitment and your dedication. You see how I killed two birds? I made a kudos to team. Everybody got appreciation, right? But also I talk about the 15% miss that did not accomplish. And now I said, okay, so now what we're here for now, truly is that I want to thank you everybody again now. The two things I observed during all this and after having a dialogue, before the retro, my suggestion of thoughts are that should we have a dialogue on these two items? Now, every retro does not mean that every retro should have some action item or takeaway. Sometime during retro, we can have a common dialogue and see that what exactly path forward is. Somebody has a comment, so let's stand by. I think Marala just answered your question. So all retro should not end with the action items. They might not end with the action. So let me take a step back. Should not. They might not end with the action item or take away for something to as a process improvement or during the retro. I always believe that look for something what you're trying to accomplish. If something that really needs a process improvement, yes, that's an action item, is a takeaway, should be put into the backlog with the agreement with the product owner because some action item might need money, time, dedication. So that has to be a common understanding with product owner as well. So that's the first thing. Second thing is that not all retro is going to end with the action item or after that. Some retro, what truly you're trying to accomplish is that is have a team to let the gas out. Let them just settle down after 2 weeks of hard work. Just have a conversation about some things or certain topics that shows the team is building as a team building exercise. But as a scrum master, look for some of the nuances the team came across as impediments. Maybe you just want to talk about those. What is somebody complaining two people not showing up in daily stand-up? That's the one topic you can bring it up. I'm just throwing out there. Hey guys, it looks like that. Hey Stevie, it looks like that, I don't know, Maral, Teresa, Teresa, it looks like that you guys are struggling to come in 9 o'clock. You're coming up at 9:05. You think that we need to discuss about that? Do we need to change the time? The takeaway action item is that, okay, we all agree that meeting should be 9:30 instead of 9 o'clock. It's too early. So some of these topics will come up, action item come up this manner. Sometimes we just have a dialogue. What are the two people writing a code? Okay, you're two developers, you had conflicts. One write the code, I'm just giving an example, Java, J2E code, right? And he's writing a different variable in a different way. And the other developer had dependency, he goes, well, you should not write this way. So let them come bring the topic in a meeting. Let's see what's the best approach, how we can do that. And the takeaway item could be have a dialogue. Let's see how his practices are, what his experience is, and how the other person writes a code. Let's have a dialogue. That could be show and tell. How you do your code, how you do your code. Let's look at that. How we can really see that there's a value to anybody. Can we take away that, okay, look, we can find a common ground. If you declare a variable, do it this way. When you compile, it should be that would be the output. I'm talking technical. I'll hold back now. Let's see, other comments came in. Maral has, please, okay, so does the retro should end up in an action item? Yes, it did. Does the Scrum Master points it out, or do we wait for the team members to bring it up? Thank you. So Maral, I can look at your question in a few ways, okay? Always have at least 1 or 2 items to bring up as an agenda within your retro. Okay, and if you do not bring something that will, kind of people come in and they'll be all over what the why we here for, what we want to talk about. So you want to have us, at least as a Scrum Master, look for the nuances. I always say that during the course of 2 weeks, you want to look for something that stood out, or something that created the impediment, something that could be discussed and it could have an outcome. Make a good judgment call. Don't bring anything to the retro that either cannot be discussed, or you could now find a consensus, or there's no action item or takeaway to that thing. And the takeaway from the retro should be worked on. Always remember that. It defeats the purpose of the retro and the people's time if there's something was discussed and there was a takeaway or action item, it was never put in a backlog, or if it was put it back in a backlog, never worked on in the next 2 weeks, and now we're back to the new next retro now. So action items should always have, what I have done is that if it's an action item, what I have done is that, hey, Billy Bob, product owner. So that's the action item. I think there are 3 key candidates. Can we get the consensus? We can assign them now, even though they will be backlog item. Can we assign them now? And can we size them now? Can we look at what's going to take to get done? And out of 3 people, hey, who wants to own it? You want to run with it? Sure, why not? Okay, I'll take it. But I can tell you this one, that's what's going to take to get it done. It might not be just next 2 weeks. It might be 4 weeks to look at that and then bring other. Yeah, I'll take that action item. So I can dedicate 2-3 hours, I don't know, maybe 5 hours next iteration, 5 hours iteration after that. That's 10 hours are gone. As you as Scrum Master, then you need to take those 10 hours for 2 iterations, right? Upcoming iterations out of the capacity. So that is a simple way to resolve these kind of things. But that's a retro. So these 5 events, that's how you can really facilitate them to the point that they become like a watery routine, guys. They don't have to be like a religious protocol. These iteration, what the Safe and Agile has it, they by no mean, if you don't do daily stand-up a day or 2, right, you can still get the feedback. Sky's not falling. But you want to make them pleasant for attendees to have a desire to attend that session, not in a forcing manner or dragging. Oh man, again early morning. Make them have people a desire to come into these events, and they'll be more effective. Once they're more active participants, you will find the value in those events, and they will understand why, but in that manner. On that note, so again, this is the same thing as usual. You guys see in this one again, 5 events float one after another. We got the iteration backlog. There's a refinement happens here. That's iteration planning. We just talk about that. That becomes a team backlog. Then we go through daily stand-ups, iteration review, and then retro. Simple format. And our iteration of sprints, we all know that it could be a 1-week cycle up to 4 weeks. And the reason we keep it 4 weeks is that we try not to go beyond 4 weeks, because the longer your iteration cycle is, less of the learning and faster feedback loop is longer. You're prone to have nuances to it. So that's a 2 key reason I always say that. Keep it as small as possible and it's manageable. 4 weeks, you have a lot more going into it. And then there's more opportunities to meet less of your objectives. But a key thing is that less of a learning and the longer the feedback loop is. Beside this, I'm about to conclude. One housekeeping, guys. So there are 2 classes coming up next. One class is coming out for Advanced Scrum Master, March 13 and 14, and there's a Scrum Master class coming up on April 3rd and 4th. If anybody's interested, please reach out to me, or you can just go to my Tech with Agile and you can register. You're more than welcome. If anybody needs any financial accommodation, reach out to me directly. I will see the best I can do to accommodate if anybody's interested in there. That's it. No more marketing. All right. Open floor, guys. Anybody has gone through these sessions, facilitated these sessions, your experience and your input, open floor for everybody. Sammy, I just saw your message. I think I put the my comment before. I think you were typing in. So yes, there are 2 classes coming up. Advanced Scrum Master, which is if you're already a Scrum Master or you have some kind of Agile certification, that is a class that you want to go to the next level, because in Advanced Scrum Master, you're learning a lot more toward these advanced topics. One is a facilitation, more detailed coaching, but also I would say that it's more to do with if you really working in a program, truly a PI discipline, a PI close to, you will learn as a release train engineer, which is like a program manager. Chris, thank you very much. Chris said advanced is a fun. Yes, it is actually. Because you already have a foundation, right? So Advanced Scrum Master really, it's just a fun 2-day class. It's a fun ride, put it this way. So Sammy, yes, that's your answer. Locke put down what make difference between a Scrum Master. Okay. Locke, Scrum Master literally, Scrum Master certification in a safe world. It's not as simple as, I was simple, I want to be cautious now. It's not just a normal Scrum Master class. In a safe world, you also learn different topics, different techniques, but also a program level, we call scaling mechanism as a Scrum Master as well. An Advanced Scrum Master has a lot more next level build up where you truly learn. You don't become release train engineer, but you close to it as a program manager, and a lot higher level topics. So it's, again, step upward. Who was that?
Oh, sorry, Irene here. Quick
Hey,
question.
yes.
Hi. So in terms of retro, outside of changing the format after, every so often iterations, and how else do